DC's brand new Batman reboot, The Brave and the Bold, is supposed to launch the Dark Knight into James Gunn's reimagined DC universe. There's just one problem. According to a recent report, this highly anticipated movie might not even have a writer. No script, no story, no clear direction. And if that's true, this isn't just a delay, it's a warning sign. How can a film this important be stalled before it ever gets started? Let's break down everything we know and why The Brave and the Bold may already be DC's most unstable project. Also, real quick, shout out to you guys. We just hit 1,800 subs in 3 weeks, and we've only posted 8 videos. I've been seeing all the love in the comments, so if you're watching and haven't subbed yet, what are you doing? Join the squad. All right, back to it. It's been nearly 2 years since James Gunn and Peter Safran unveiled their new DC slate, and The Brave and the Bold was pitched as a cornerstone. A bold, emotional Batman story centered around Bruce Wayne and his son, Damian.
This is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
But now, The Hollywood Reporter isn't even convinced the movie has a writer attached. James Gunn previously claimed a writer had been locked in, but that writer may have quietly left. And now, DC Studios is once again in limbo with a movie that's critical to their entire universe sitting on the bench. It's the kind of development hell that feels way too familiar. Back in 2023, Andy Muschietti, the director of The Flash, was announced as the man who'd helm Brave and the Bold. It was a big moment. Fans were hopeful, the studio seemed confident, but since then, radio silence. No filming updates, no casting news, no script confirmations, nothing. It's as if the project just froze in time. And while Muschietti is still technically attached, he's been juggling other projects with no public commitment to when this Batman story will actually start rolling. In the meantime, other DCU projects like Superman, Peacemaker, and Creature Commandos have moved forward while Batman is stuck at square one. What if The Batman Part 2 is the real Brave and the Bold? A few days ago, actress Eiza González liked an Instagram post celebrating the completion of the Batman Part 2 script. At first, that seemed random until people realized something strange. Matt Reeves just followed her, and if you followed Reeves long enough, you know he doesn't follow many people. In fact, the only actors he follows are ones confirmed to be involved in the Batman universe. So now fans are asking, is Eiza González joining the Batman Part 2? And if so, who could she be playing? The most popular theory? Talia al Ghul. And that changes everything. Because if Reeves is casting Talia, that could mean he's planning to introduce the League of Assassins. That could mean Ra's al Ghul exists in his world. And that could mean Damian Wayne is coming. You know, the same Damian Gunn promised would debut in The Brave and the Bold. So here's the wild theory. What if The Batman Part 2, the dark, gritty, noir-driven sequel starring Robert Pattinson, is secretly DC's real Brave and the Bold movie? Think about it. Gunn says his Batman reboot doesn't have a writer, it doesn't have a cast, it doesn't even have momentum. Meanwhile, Reeves has a completed script, a global fan base, and now possibly an actress like González lined up to play a major DC character tied directly to Damian Wayne. This wouldn't just be a coincidence. It could be the plan. What if Warner Brothers is letting Gunn build the wider DCU, but Reeves quietly gets to handle the Bat family? Maybe the Batman trilogy is setting up Damian from the shadows, and Gunn's reboot is less of a new Batman and more of a merging down the line, a soft convergence. Or maybe it's even more bold than that. What if Reeves is adapting his own version of The Brave and the Bold, using Pattinson's Batman, Talia, and a grounded League of Assassins arc without ever calling it that? Because if González is Talia, and Damian shows up next, then that reboot everyone's waiting for? It might already be happening. Here's where things get even messier. Right now, DC is running 2 versions of Batman and fans are confused. Robert Pattinson is still Batman in Matt Reeves' gritty, noir-style universe. That series is continuing under the Elseworlds banner, with the Batman Part 2 moving ahead after the script was just finalized. But in Gunn's DCU, a second Batman is supposed to exist. A different actor, a different tone, a different timeline. In theory, the multiverse approach sounds exciting. In practice, it's a branding nightmare. Which Batman is canon? Which one matters more? And how do you introduce a new Bruce Wayne when the old one is still in theaters and loved by fans? Even Matt Reeves added fuel to the fire earlier this year, saying he's not ruling out Pattinson's Batman joining the DCU, depending on where things go.
Recently integrating Rob into the DCU, and he said they've talked about it because you talk about everything.
Sure, yeah.
What's your attitude about that at this point?
I mean, you know, it really comes down to whether or not it makes sense, and you know, I think what's been great is there was really a kind of a story that I wanted to tell. You know, we're calling the epic crime saga and all of that, which is the thrust of what we wanted to do, and it's been important to me to be able to play that out. And you know, James and Peter have been really, really great about that, and they're letting us do that. And you know, what the future brings, I can't really tell you. I have no idea right now, except that my head is down now about getting the Batman Part 2 shooting and to make it something really, really special, which of course is the most important thing.
And if they decide, like, we really want Rob to be our DCU Batman?
I don't know. Well, we'll have to see where that goes.
According to some insiders, Matt Reeves may have written not one, but two versions of the Batman Part 2 script. One that continues Pattinson's grounded noir storyline isolated from the rest of the DC universe. And another, a backup version that subtly opens the door to merge Pattinson into the DCU. But here's the key. It all depends on how Superman performs. If Superman bombs, the studio may hesitate to hand Gunn full control. If it dominates the box office and wins fans over, suddenly, Gunn has leverage in the pieces to build a unified DCU. In that case, bringing Pattinson's Batman into the fold might not just be possible, it might be necessary. Because let's face it, he's the most consistent thing DC has right now. Critically respected, fan-approved, already established. Why start over when Reeves already has the Bat family in development? So, maybe this isn't about delays or confusion. Maybe it's about flexibility. DC is hedging its bets. Reeves wrote a Batman movie that can go either way, standalone or connected.
Matt Reeves teased yesterday that he's finished with the Batman 2 script. So have you even had time to skim the script yet?
I have not. I'm like so excited to read it, and I'm hoping I can read it on the plane to London tomorrow. But I might fall asleep, so we'll see.
If DC really is considering merging Robert Pattinson's Batman into James Gunn's DCU, the reactions are going to be explosive. Because no matter how cleanly you do it, fans are already divided. On one side, you have the people who love the Reeves, Pattinson universe. It's grounded, it's mature, it treats Batman like a detective again. These fans don't want shared universes, laser beams, or alien invasions. They want crime, corruption, and a Batman who feels like he could actually exist. For them, merging Pattinson into a superhero-filled DCU might feel like watering it all down. Like trading mystery for CGI spectacle. They've invested in a very specific tone, and they're not ready to let that go. But on the other side, you've got the fans who just want one Batman, one universe, one story. Not two timelines, not two actors, not two franchises stepping on each other's toes. If DC really is considering merging Robert Pattinson's Batman into James Gunn's DCU, the reactions are going to be explosive. Because no matter how cleanly you do it, fans are already divided. On one side, you have the people who love the Reeves, Pattinson universe. It's grounded, it's mature, it treats Batman like a detective again. These fans don't want shared universes, laser beams, or alien invasions. They want crime, corruption, and a Batman who feels like he could actually exist. For them, merging Pattinson into a superhero-filled DCU might feel like watering it all down. Like trading mystery for CGI spectacle. They've invested in a very specific tone, and they're not ready to let that go. But on the other side, you've got the fans who just want one Batman, one universe, one story. Not two timelines, not two actors, not two franchises stepping on each other's toes. They're tired of the confusion. And if Reeves can seamlessly bring Damian, Talia, and the Bat family into a world that eventually meets Superman, Supergirl, and the Authority without losing the depth, that might actually be the best of both worlds. Then there's a third group, the ones who don't care about creative vision, they care about momentum. They're tired of waiting, tired of delays, tired of seeing DC make big announcements only to walk them back 6 months later. For them, the only thing that matters is that something finally moves forward, and if Pattinson helps get the Bat family on screen faster, so be it. The truth is, DC is walking a razor's edge right now. If they keep the universes separate, some fans will say they're wasting potential. If they merge them, others will say they're diluting the integrity of what Reeves built. And if they fumble the execution even just a little, both sides will turn on them. That's why all eyes are on Superman. Because if that film hits, everything changes. And if it doesn't, Pattinson might stay in his own dark corner of Gotham forever.